Hello, designers. This is Dr. Shante Bishop, CEO of Design Her Label, where I help diverse women entrepreneurs turn their creative genius into bankable brand strategies. Welcome to this week's brandcast. This week, we're going to be talking about Now You See Me. This blog is all about the visual branding component because oftentimes when I work with clients that have already gotten started but aren't yet really established, one of the things that we really struggle with and have to work on in the beginning is the visual component, is the aesthetic of the brand, because this is something that people really tend to underestimate. And so in this post, I want to give you some tools, some resources, some tips, and some information about how you can make your brand pop, how it can become visually pleasing to your target audience. So let's get started. People judge, eat, and buy with their eyes. We live in a sighted society. We live in a visual society. And so you've seen it, you've experienced it. Somebody walks in the door and it's all eyes on them. People are giving them the up and down and they are evaluating them. They're making judgments. Every time I get on YouTube for an episode of Design Her TV, regardless of the content of what I'm saying, people are evaluating me. They're judging me. They're looking at my hair. They're looking at my makeup. They're looking at my style of dress. Even most recently during the Super Bowl, for those of you who were watching or had heard a little bit about this controversy, Pam Oliver, she is a sports correspondent working with the NFL, and one of the things that happened to her was during the broadcast, there were all of these hashtags, and her hair became a trending topic because her hair, it was out of place. I'll leave it at that. Okay. Her hair was out of place and it became such a huge issue. And she said, when I'm down there on the field, I'm trying to do a job. I'm trying to communicate information. I'm trying to be a professional. And she said, maybe I'm a little bit naive in the fact that, I'm on television and that my visual brand can't be neglected, but I would hope that people would find more value in what I'm bringing to the event, more value in what I'm bringing to the broadcasting world versus what my hair looks like. But unfortunately, people tore her to shreds. So people do make those judgments with their eyes. People eat with their eyes. If somebody puts a plate of food in front of you, even if it's delicious, if it doesn't look good, you're not going to want to eat it. And likewise, people buy with their eyes. And so when you are launching a business and you want people to invest in you, people are going to make judgments and evaluate how much your brand is worth or how much they're willing to spend based on how it looks. So here's the thing. At first glance, people cannot see your intellect. At first glance, people can't see how competent you are. They can't see the flavor of your cupcakes or the flavor of, your culinary offerings. They can't see the drive that you have or the determination that you have. They can't see your expertise. All of that intellect, competence, professionalism, determination, that comes later. That's the second phase of interaction. But the first phase of interaction is visual. What is going to be their first impression? And at the first impression, you cannot see these intangible things, even though they are extremely valuable. Intellect, determination, expertise, passion, professionalism, those things are extremely valuable. But people can't see those right away. The first thing that they see is what your brand looked like. So first impressions matter. I can't stress that enough. The way that you walk into a room at a conference, the way that you show up for a coffee meeting, the way that your website looks, these things matter because people will make evaluations about you and how much they want to spend with you or whether or not they're going to go forward with you based on those first impressions. I've said this a million times. Your digital footprint is huge because people will Google you before they decide to invest in you. The thing about it is, by the time you get an email from someone or by the time your phone rings with an opportunity on the other line, you can trust and believe that they have done their homework. They have already gone searching for you. They have already read reviews about you. People will Google you before they decide to invest in you. And the question is, what are they going to see when they do so? So for today's blog, we want to focus on that visual component. Visual branding refers to the overall aesthetic of your brand. In other words, how does it look? How are people going to recognize you? What are those distinctive features that, as I've been talking about, are going to make you signature and make you stand out? And what is going to resonate with your target audience? So these things include your wardrobe. Your wardrobe choices matter. And this is something that I have had I don't want to say conflicts, but I've had some tense moments with clients in the past because they say, well, I want to be comfortable, and I don't have to wear 4-inch heels in order to be a professional. I don't have to wear, skirts and dresses in order to do my job. And that's true. You don't have to wear skirts and dresses in order to do your job. And you don't have to wear 4-inch heels in order to do your job. However, your wardrobe choices communicate messages to an audience. They say how you feel about yourself. They say something about your level of confidence, whether they're true or not. Your wardrobe does communicate a message. And so you have to be intentional about what is the message that you want to send in your wardrobe choices. Your visual brand includes your website, your social media profiles. So, do you have a bathroom selfie, as your profile picture, or is it something that's professional and polished? These things include your social media content, the types of things that you post about. It also includes things like your media kit. So, some of you have aspirations to be a national media personality. You want to be on TV shows, you want to be an expert, you want to give your expertise, in magazines. Well, when producers are looking for talent for these opportunities, one of the things that they look for is a media kit. Do you have one? And if so, what does it look like? Also, things like marketing sheets. There's something called a one sheet, which is basically a one sheet document that tells anyone who would be looking to hire a speaker or anyone looking to hire an author or an expert all about your expertise, the topics that you can speak to. It talks about things that you're passionate about and what you can bring to the event, the results that you can produce in one single marketing sheet. And these are the types of things that people don't think about because, as I often say, we spend so much time being afraid that somebody's going to say no. We spend so much time afraid to move forward because we don't think that we're going to attract anybody, that when we do attract someone, we're not even ready for the opportunity because these parts of the package are not there. These things also include your layout, your style choices in terms of how you configure and compose information on your blog, on your website, on your social media. They include your personal aesthetic, so this is an opportunity to really leave your personal stamp. They include things like infographics, your font choices, even the way that you arrange pictures. So, for example, you are looking at 2 pictures of a berry smoothie. Now, the ingredients in these smoothies are comparable, but you tell me, just based on the visual aspect alone, which of these smoothies are you most likely to drink? Chances are it's the one at the bottom. Why? Because it looks more appetizing. It looks more vibrant. It looks like it tastes good. And the thing is, the one at the top, it probably tastes good too. I'm sure that the ingredients are very similar, but the way that it presents itself, the way that the information is presented is important. And so sometimes people have blogs and they use pictures, but the picture quality looks like the picture quality in this top picture when instead it should be looking like the picture quality in the bottom picture. Because think about it. Say, for instance, these smoothies had, exotic ingredients, and the person was trying to charge $10 per smoothie. I would be hard pressed to find somebody that would spend $10 for a smoothie that looks like the one at the top. So when you think that your visual brand doesn't matter, it really does because people begin to devalue what it is that you have to offer based on how it looks, based on how the information is being presented. So you want to make sure that your brand has curb appeal. The thing is that I often use the analogy of a house. Anybody that knows me well knows that I spend a lot of time watching HGTV House Hunters. That's my guilty pleasure. That's my release. And after watching House Hunters for so many years, one of the things that is really important is when a house has curb appeal. In other words, it has to have a positive and favorable first impression that makes people want to go inside. Now, sometimes houses have really good curb appeal, but when they go on the inside, it's a dump. But at least there was enough done on the outside to get people to take a look. On the other hand, there are your fixer uppers, okay? And this is where it doesn't look that great on the outside, but it has potential. You don't want your brand to come across as a fixer upper. You don't want to walk into a room looking like a fixer upper. You want to make sure that it has curb appeal, that you have curb appeal, that you have confidence. And so be very intentional about the way that you present your brand, whether that's on Instagram, whether that's on Facebook, whether that is headshots for your website, marketing sheets. You want to have curb appeal. You want people to want to click and learn more about you versus wondering whether or not you're reputable, whether or not you're credible, or whether or not your expertise really is what you say it is. So I want to leave you with some visual branding tools to help make that happen. A lot of times we see these things on Facebook and they look so fancy, and we see these posts, all over social media, and we're like, wow, they probably hired a graphic designer to do that. Absolutely not. There are so many free tools out there that if you have a high quality, high resolution image, then you can make it signature and you can make it have impact for little to no money at all. A lot of these tools, in fact, are free. And so here are some visual branding tools. Pixlr, PicMonkey, A Beautiful Mess. These are all photo editing software. Um, it's photo editing software that allows you to add text to a picture. And one of the things about that is that a picture, they say it says 1,000 words, but when you can add a quote to it, or when you can add, a motivational component, or when you can add ingredients, to a recipe, it increases the value of the image. And so Pixlr, PicMonkey, A Beautiful Mess, those are all photo software tools that allow you to do that. You can also visit graphicriver.com and creativemarket.com because what they have are templates. They have templates for brochures, for business cards, for marketing sheets. So remember that one sheet, that speaker sheet that we talked about? They have templates that you can purchase for very little money. Sometimes they're free, and the average price is about maybe $11, sometimes $25, depending on what you want. But that's a small price to pay to have a high quality polished template for your brochures, for your flyers, and things of that nature, so that you come across and the aesthetic of your brand comes across as high quality. I am a firm believer that there is a strong correlation between the way that your brand looks and the level of client that you attract. If your brand looks high end, you will attract high end clients. If your brand looks low end, then you will attract low end clients. So you want to make sure that your visual brand is not a barrier or an obstacle to you being able to accelerate your results and also to build your revenue. As always, if you enjoyed this post, please encourage your peeps to subscribe. If you are listening to this podcast from my blog, then I have links to all of these resources and tools right underneath this post. If you are watching this from YouTube, I encourage you to go over to Design Her Label and become a subscriber. I would love to have you as part of our tribe. I will see you guys next time.